I'm giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai Bashem Rakakwadash Shalom to the 144,000 rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'm going to entitle this video, make this relatively quick. Let's see where the Spirit leads me. I'm going to entitle this video Police State Martial Law November 1st. Will all hell break loose? 2nd Esdras 15, 2nd Esdras 16. The time of Jacob's trouble. Let's see if I can put that in the title. I'll put as much in as I can. But that's what everybody's talking about right now. It's the 25th, so we got how many days? We got 6 days before November. 6 days, because October is 31 days. Right? So they'll be talking about it even to the eve of November 1st. Scriptures speak about uproars of the people, and that's taking place all around the world pursuant to 2nd Esdras chapter 9. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me go to that right quick. Matter of fact, let me just no. Let me go to this, and then I'll let you hear Skeletor over here. Skeletor. I'm blaming that on if Skeletor gets mad at me, I'm blaming it on Yashawan, Elder Yashawan out in the West. He started this. Okay, so let me do this. Come on, man. I'm sorry. I'm in 2nd Esdras. That's where I want to be. 9 and 1. Let's see what it says. 2nd Esdras, beautiful. 1st Esdras, 2nd Esdras, Esdras, and the scriptures. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, because we have we know where we are in prophecy, because we go by a prophetic timeline. That's a topic for you, Apostle Ram Lab. Prophetic, because you did one. We went through a prophetic timeline or historic timeline. So we know exactly where we are in prophecy. We know that the MOTB is months away. We know that the deliverance and the destruction and the kingdom is months away. We know that because, and I said this in the previous video, if you go to Daniel 2 and Daniel 7, and I like Daniel 2 because you can picture that statue. It makes it a little bit easier. It looks like a chart. Right? Matter of fact, let me do this. Bear with me for a minute, y'all. The standing image in Daniel chapter 2. Let me go to images. Now let's go ahead and read this. The standing image in Daniel chapter 2 represents a succession of world empires, with each part symbolizing a different kingdom. The head of gold is Babylon. The chest and arms of silver is the Medo-Persian Empire. So the secular world knows this. The belly and the thighs of bronze is Greece, and the legs are iron, Rome. The feet made of a mixture of iron and clay represent a later kingdom with both strength and bitterness, weak and strong, which is ultimately destroyed by a stone from the mountain. So they don't tell you what it is because they don't know. They know, but they're not going to tell you. So let's do this. Let's go to images. Here's your prophetic chart. Let's say. Okay, let's do this one. Where are we in prophecy? Babylonians, talking circa 600 BC. Medo-Persians took them down. Thigh of Bronze, Greece, that was during the time of 300 BC. Then you had Rome, which we're talking about from the BC era going into the AD era. Feet of clay, divided nations. Well, that's talking about NATO and the EU. So where are we in prophecy? We're right here. That's the completion of the statue. So we're right here. You go back some months, about a year ago, Al-Azhar, Chief Al-Azhar, whatever he is, whether he's in Israel or not, I don't know what his status is. He had made a statement. He was on one of them no jumper show or whatever, and he said somebody asked when will this thing come? When will the end come? He said it can happen anytime. It can happen 1,000 years from now. And who jumped on him? We lined up jumping on that guy. He said, what the hell are you talking about 1,000 years? What are you talking about? And instead of him saying, you're right, I was wrong, this was a misstatement, and you might have went into this chart right here, the prophetic flow chart, timetable. We're in this part. So you mean to tell me that this part is going to last for 1,000 years? No, we're months away. We're months away. We're in the time of Jacob's trouble. Anyway, I didn't want to go all into that. Where am I? Where the hell am I? Okay, I'm back over here. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. People around the world, on the planet, America, they're not going into the scriptures. They're not filtering this through the scriptures. The White House, the Trump, the Nero 47, and his people, his council, they're not going through the scriptures. Or maybe they are, and they're saying we're going to do it despite what the scriptures say. They know, you top Edomite Bible scholars and scholars in general, prophetic people, you know what time you know what stage we're in this prophetic timetable or prophetic flow chart. We're in the time of, let me show it to you again. This is back to the real basics. I'm sorry, what the hell? I'm sorry. See, I hate when this happens. That's okay. That's okay. Let me go back. Let me do this. Let me see. And the time. Okay, let me go here. I'm sorry. Okay, let me go to Google again. The standing image in Daniel chapter 2. Go back to images. Where are we right? Give me a second. That's the Bishop soccer line. Give me a second here. Yeah, there's going to be a thing today. They're going to have the streets closed off, so you got to kind of go around another way. This is what I want to do before we go to camp. I want to go to get another phone, because my phone keeps shutting off on me, you know. So try to get here early as possible. All right, shalom. Stuff. Give me a second, y'all. So we keep going back to this image. Here it is again, but none of them is going to say America. So we're in this time right here. So we know what time we are in prophecy. This is the generation. This generation shall not pass until or except all these prophecies come to pass. All the prophecies came to pass. Only ones left is 4: the MOTB, the deliverance, the destruction, and the kingdom of heaven. And that's it. Ain't gonna be no more prophecies because our kingdom is gonna be an everlasting kingdom. So now let's come back over here. He answered me then and said, measure, we just measured thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, which the Most High is showing us signs now, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. That's talking about right now, in our lifetime, our generation. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes. Now, I believe, if you go to the chart, I believe, matter of fact, I don't have to say believe. I'm gonna look it up. Let me look it up. The hell? How did I lose that? Okay, right here, I believe. Okay. Let's do this. How many earthquakes took place on the planet in 2024? Okay, so let's go to all. Ooh! Earthquakes in diverse places, right? It said about 20,000 earthquakes globally per year, or 55 per day. However, seismic activity in 2024 included in 99 earthquakes greater than multitude 6. 20,000, right? The exact total number of earthquakes in 2024 is not readily available, as it depends on the minimum magnitude included, but the USGS estimates there were about 20,000. So we're talking about 20,000 in 2024. Earthquakes in diverse places, Matthew 24. So there goes another clue. Measure the time. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, that's all around the world. Matter of fact, let me do this. Uproars. Bear me for a minute. Uproars. Okay, let me see. OAR. Why isn't it? Okay, uproars in 2020. Uproars. Of people worldwide 2024. Okay, let's see here. Throughout 2024, widespread public unrest was fueled by various issues, including frustration and global conflicts, voter discontent. Right, you voted the guy, he didn't keep his promises, any of his promises, during a record number of elections, economic anxiety, the food stamp thing, the human rights issues, according to the Carnegie Endowment of International Peace. There were more than 160 significant anti-government protests during the year 2024. And 2025 is even a hotter year. 160 significant anti-government protests. Wow. Look at this. Uproars of the people. Protests over geopolitical conflicts, Gaza war, Russia-Ukraine war, election-related unrest, Bangladesh, Georgia, that's in Russia, Mexico, South Korea. They don't give you this in the U.S. news. Economic, European farmers protest, protested in America, the farmers. France, Kenya, Peru, Indonesia, human rights. So that's all we need. Let's come on back. Third verse. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. I'll read one more verse. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works, doing it right, being in this truth, elect, and by faith, we're faith-based organization, whereby ye believe, ye have believed. So that's it, man. This is the main verse, 2nd Esdras 9 verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, 2024, and it's worse this year, 2024, 160 uproars of the people around the world. That we don't hear that on CNN. Oh, there was another. They don't tell you that. You know? So now, where we at? So we here, bro. So let's go ahead and listen to Skeletor.
Donald Trump's team says that they expect a major uprising across these.
They don't expect it. They're going to make it happen. This is planned. Nothing happens by accident. I think FDR said that. If something in politics happens, you best believe that it was planned that way. They're going to kill a lot of people. They're going to have troops, or total police state. Whatever they want to call it. If they want to label it as the Insurrection Act, it's in reality a police state, martial law. Let's look them words up. But they can give another name to it, right? Let's look up the word police state. Police state. Police state meaning a totalitarian state controlled by a political police force that secretly supervise the citizens' activities. That means they're going to turn this into a open air prison. A totalitarian state controlled by a political police force that secretly supervises secret police. They wear the mask, right? The citizens' activities. The citizens are you. What is an example of police state? Example, Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, Saddam Hussein. Babylon should be in there too. Iraq and apartheid era Africa. Okay, so let's do this. Martial law meaning. Is a police state. Martial law. Military government involving the suspension of ordinary laws, meaning the suspension of the Constitution. That's why they're grabbing up people. Look, man, prove that you were born in America. Where's your birth certificate? Who carries around a birth certificate? You know? Anyway. So we know that we're in the end. We're not going to be here 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years. So now let's go back and listen to my main man Skeletor. Let me bring the mic to him. Then we're going to close.
Donald Trump's team says that they expect a major uprising across the cities of the United States of America.
Why do they expect it? Because they're making it happen. They're not telling you, oh, we're doing this because we want you to riot so we can send the forces in and we can mow some of y'all down. No, he ain't saying that. He's saying we had no choice. People are bugging, especially women.
Very soon. We just had Pete Hegseth, the director of the Department of War, the secretary there.
From the birth of the Constitution, it's always been the Department of Defense, meaning you defend yourself. The enemy comes from another country, we have a war to defend ourselves. When you change it from the Department of Defense to Department of War, that means you are proactive. You go out and make wars happen.
Suggest that there is a planning phase right now with the U.S. government.
And this is fair use that slowed this thing down.
That they're putting together a National Guard or a federalized response team in expectation of major amounts of violence across our country.
So when all hell breaks loose, they're going to be taking bodies. They're going to have live rounds and they're going to be taking people out. They're going to be taking people out. Time of Jacob's trouble is here. And it's going to get worse.
They expect civil unrest, maybe even a civil war to play out. But let's look at what's happening across our...
And Edomites can't blame it on Jake. Now they're looking at the government. The Edomite, the red hatters, they're saying this man, because they're being affected too. I was watching this one video where they were showing different Jake, mainly women, talking about what they're gonna do because they're gonna cut food stamps. So some of them said, "I get $700 a month. You know, I got 3 kids or whatever. I get $500." They were getting anything under $1,000. They had an Edomite man This dude was getting 2,800. I'm sorry, 2,800, 2,800, almost 3,000 a month for food stamps. Half of that is 150 or 1,500. Half of that is what, 750 to $800. So this guy's got $800, and I know he ain't spending it on food either. So I believe, I can't prove it, but we'll find out. It all comes out in the wash. There's going to be certain Edomites that's going to be getting their food stamps on time, and Jake ain't going to get it. So this is going to be a chaotic thing. And do you really think these supermarkets are going to just stay open for the people? They're going to close down a lot of these markets, man. Food riots. Let's go into that. Food riots. Food riots, meaning a food riot is a form of public unrest which can be a protest or a violent disturbance protesting against the high price. Everybody's talking about the high prices. Remember what Nero said, as soon as I get in office, prices are going to go down immediately. When he got in, prices kept going up. Or shortage of food. Somebody said, who was I listening to? They said, these supermarkets and these stores that sell food, supermarkets, mega supermarkets and local supermarkets and grocery stores and, places such as that. They said that when that thing stops, they're not going to get their money. They're not going to get their money. So there'll be less food coming in. So the number was, I believe, was 9 nationwide. I believe is 9 billion. I believe that's a month. So $9 billion that go into the economy is not going to be there no more because of food stamps recipients. So even if you got money, you ain't on your food stamps. Guess what? Oh, I went to one of the BJs. There was the stuff that I normally get, like certain things. There were certain parts that they always had in stock was not there. So we're gonna watch. So the next 6 days, we're gonna give you reports as to what's going on and what you should do. What you should do is trust in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Isaiah 65. Starting from the 9th verse on down to the 12th round. About the 12th verse, it says that we're going to eat. The servants of the Most High shall eat, but the others shall hunger. You guys that turn your back on the plow and come to this truth, y'all are done. Y'all are done. Stick a fork in them, they done. You're going to get caught out there. And when the mark of the beast comes, you're going to get caught up in it. You're going to take that. That's probably how they're going to present the MOTB too. The digital ID. If you get the digital ID, you can eat. You get your food stamps back or whatever. Now you got to work for food stamps. Ain't nobody working for no damn food stamps, but it is money. This is what happened. What made Egypt great? The dream going to Joseph and the Pharaoh at that time, and those series of dreams. Right? Anyway, it says these riots are typically caused by issues like food scarcity, inflation, prices going up, and reduced government subsidies, aka food stamps, aka EBT. And they can be a reaction to perceived injustice in the food supply chain or the government's handling of the crisis. Because the Republicans are blaming it on the Democrats are blaming it on the Republicans. Oh, see, if the Democrats work with us, which people don't buy that, you know, they know there's a bigger plan behind the scenes. Nothing in politics happens by accidents. High food prices, raising food prices due to inflation or speculation. So it's all here. So let's finally listen to the rest of the Skeletor. What the hell happened, man? I hate when this shit happens. Let me do it this way. Where you at, Skelly? Come on now. This is why we do videos every day. We do multiple videos a day. Because there's always new news. Give me a second, y'all. Gotta find Skeletor. If I don't find him this way, I can find him another way. So many notifications popping up. Let me do it. Let me do it this way. Bear with me for a minute. Because I do subscribe to you. Just got to find them. Canadian Prepper, another good one. Where's my man at? Bear with me, that's all you can do. Or move on. There we go. Full spectrum. Okay, trade is being halted, termination and chaos. And it was all planned that way. Okay, is it, what's going on here? Okay, this has to be it. Don't give me a damn commercial. Don't give me a goddamn commercial.
Across our nation today, as we see the police officers and immigration enforcement knock at the front door of potential gang members.
They're saying potential. Look at this. They got this thing, a battering ram. They don't care. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. This is crazy, bro.
The police officers and immigration enforcement knock at the front door of potential gang members.
This is Esau's blessing, the sword, the gun.
Guys, they are coming in strong.
Somebody said the children.
When they come after people across Chicago and multiple areas of our country, you have to really keep your wits about you, because you could have a mistaken identity problem. And if somebody says that maybe you should be picked up, they're making a lot of false pickups right now, accidental ones.
Because they don't care. They don't have to pay any consequences. First of all, you don't know who they are. They're masked. They don't have any IDs. They don't show their IDs. If they great girls, who do you know? It's a guy with a mask. Well, there's plenty of them that have masks. So this is not a good look, man.
That quickly get cleared up, but that doesn't mean that there's not a potential for some sort of bad thing to happen in that time. Here we have Donald Trump announcing that every single trade negotiation with Canada will be thrown into the garbage can. He says that the Canadian leadership has not just disrespected the United States of America, the Canadian leadership has disavowed any want to be part of this country and our Western support system. This is a very bad and scary move for all Canadians, because Canada relies on the USA.
So Nero's making enemies of Venezuela. He wants the president out. Colombia, he wants to go to war with Colombia because Colombia didn't want to join forces with the U.S. troops to take out Venezuela. Now he's after Canada. Canada is one of the NATO states. What does it say in Revelation chapter 17, verse 12 on down?
For its defense capabilities and its economy. Let's see what Trump is saying about it as we look at this. So Trump ends the trade talks with Canada over a Reagan ad. The Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, predicted this week that the president wouldn't be happy with it. The Ronald Reagan Foundation announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement that is fake, featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about the tariffs. They did this to interfere with the U.S. Supreme Court.
Tariffs affect U.S. citizens first and foremost. Doesn't affect China. All China is going to do is raise the prices. They're going to add the tariff, whether it be 20%, 50%, and you're going to pay for higher prices. If China called for issued an embargo against the United States and I believe they're doing that. So much news going on. I don't even remember who said that. But if that happens, then they said, look, we're just not going to deal with the U.S. anymore. We're going to deal with Europe and the rest of the world. Guess what? There'll be empty shelves all over the place. Empty shelves. Most of the shit that you get, not necessarily food, but everything else, furniture, anything else, car parts, because we don't have factories over here in America. So this is a fucked up situation.
Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. The U.S. says this was egregious behavior. The foundation said the government of Ontario did not seek or receive permission to use or edit those remarks. So Trump's very upset about this. Here's PM Bondi, or AG Pam Bondi, discussing the cartels.
This video was created by AI.
No expensive cameras or complicated software.
With the right tools, you can create any visual you can imagine.
Infrastructure now. We've been watching transnational gangs grow in our country, become organized, set up infrastructure in all of our states, but no longer under President Trump. We are destroying.
So she said all of this, every state, 50 plus, it's actually more than 50 states. Contiguous states is 50. They're saying there's gang activity all over, and they're going to label everybody a gang or terrorists, what do you call that? Domestic terrorists, which includes the Israelites, So they need to get some agent provocateurs set up a camp, rob a store, and you can see they got fringes on. I said, we don't know them people. The first video that they made was 2 weeks ago. These guys are obviously set up.
Destroying the infrastructure, and we're no longer on defense. All of these great men and women are on offense. So
that's your spake. The lamb came up with two horns that spake like a dragon. They're speaking like a. Now you know what that means. Revelation 13 verse 11. They spake like a dragon. Draconian laws.
they better get ready. We're dismantling the cartels, and we are taking the leaders into custody and all of the gangs. We are going to supercharge this work. This is not a pilot program. This is permanent. We are here to stay.
That's police state. She said this is not a pilot program. This is permanent. That's a police state. That's martial law. Constitution is out the window. If it's permanent, the Constitution is out the window.
And Secretary Hegseth, we couldn't do this without you and the Department of War.
Now listen to the statements that were just made by our Attorney General. This is happening from now until the end of time. This administration just set up the rule set that anybody that they declare as a threat to national security, same league as terrorists from other countries. So what you're doing is forfeiting the American due process. Now, I believe in everything that's happening.
Now, check this out. This is 5 days ago. Black gun owners in Chicago. Black gun owners in Chicago charged with felonies despite valid FOID and CCLs, meaning they're licensed to carry, but they're saying, nope, you shouldn't be carrying. So all those licenses that you had, that's all out the window. You're not supposed to have guns. We don't care what paperwork you have. So that's why they changed it from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. And she said this is going to be a ongoing war against the people. So they're gonna push that chip. The chip is right at the door, and then the ones of you that take it, you're gonna be judged, and the ones that don't take it in America, which are the elect, because they know the scriptures, and it's gonna be a game changer for these other camps that teach otherwise. Either they're gonna say we was wrong, don't take it, or take it anyway. So we're at the final stretch of this thing. Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is here.
Right now, or maybe yesterday. But where we go from here is very dangerous territory. And I don't care.
And that's why you have what really is 3-eye Atlas. You got these gigantic ships that are bigger than the earth that are spying this place, this system out. Revelation 12. There will be no place found in heaven for these fighter jets, these whatever military that they have. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, Yahweh is getting ready to send his son with the angels to take this place out. The beast was on fire. Daniel chapter 7.
Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, this is dangerous territory. Because at any point in time, and especially if we see a flip to a Democrat-led presidency inside of our country and administration, the next ones they'll come after will be maybe the firearm holders. The next ones they'll say a threat to national security are maybe the people who don't want to get a digital ID. The next...
Or people that don't want to get a digital ID. What they're doing now is in the UK, as of January 1st, you got to get that. That's the deadline. That's 2 months. Hell, that's 2 months and 6 days. You got to get that digital ID, and that's gonna be mandatory around the whole planet. And then from the digital ID, it's gonna go into the microchip, which is the fulfillment of the MOTB, Revelation 13 and 17. Let me bring that back. Bear with me for a minute.
Point in time, and especially if we see a flip to a Democrat-led presidency inside of our country and administration, the next ones they'll come after will be maybe the firearm holders. The next ones they'll say a threat to national security are maybe the people who don't want to get a digital ID.
So maybe the people that don't want to get a digital ID, because the digital ID is coming to America. In the UK, come January 1st, everybody got to have this digital ID. And if you don't have it, and a Bobby pulls you over and asks for ID, you don't have it, that's an £85 fine, which US dollars would be about $115. So you don't want to carry the ID. We're gonna take it out your pocket. You can't buy or sell. It's coming. It's here. We've been saying it. Us here at GMS been talking about it since day one, since we got on YouTube about the MOTB. Even go back to 2007, 2008. We've been talking about it.
The next threat to national security and potential terrorists might be the people who don't keep their carbon footprint in check. So the ground rules that are being set up right now are pretty concerning in my point of view.
Hey there.
This is right out front of this woman's child's school. She walks up to this group of vagrants. They're sitting here doing drugs on the street. Now, the confrontation of this woman and these users is very dangerous. One of them even goes to attack her with a needle. It could be a used needle.
Do you see this says? It says school zone. School zone. That right there is a school.
These people don't give a damn. They're drugged up. And where's the police at?
School's in session. Doing drugs right here in the school zone is going to get you a felony. You guys got 2 minutes, and then I'm calling Bike Squad. They're on speed dial. Yep. You guys
Bitch, you should have called. What you doing? I'm going to call speed. You should have called. You should have called. And the guy gives her the finger. They're out of their mind. They're bugged out of their mind.
take this shit and take it out of the school zone. All right.
Now, two of the guys there don't want any confrontation. They definitely don't want to deal with the justice system, so they get up and just start walking away. But it's this closest guy to the camera right here, the one in the jacket with his hood up. We have fostered in this country, and you see this happen all over our world. Anytime that they allow criminal activity to be done in the shadows, and they make it so that criminals, thugs, violent people feel like it's okay to attack you for recording them because they don't want their despicable acts to be out in the light, well, then the country and the nation fails.
This is the presidential seal of the United States of America, also the Zeus Leto family seal, or the seal of God Almighty. In this slide, we are looking at federal law enforcement agency badges. As you can see, each of them have an eagle on top.
Oh.
That's fine. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm protecting the kids. This is take the drugs out of the school zone. That's the whole. Well,
you don't have permission to film me.
You're in public. You don't have the right to say that I don't.
You fucking film me. Get this shit out of here, man.
Get the drugs out of here.
Get that fucking phone out of my face, dude.
I'm gonna mace you.
Okay, maybe it's... Okay, that looks like a needle right here. Looks like he's also got a pipe. Very dangerous activity here.
Get the drugs out of here. Get the drugs out. Get the drugs out. Get out.
Get that fucking phone out of my face,
I'm gonna mace you.
Get that phone out of my face.
That's some crazy Mexican guy.
Dude, you don't got permission to film me, man.
Get out.
Now, this woman could not fight this guy off. She has her pepper spray. She thinks she has control of the situation. But if he decided to stick her with something, there's literally nothing that she could do about it. Not understanding that people who are on narcotics, not understanding that people who are maybe feeling like they have the right, the justified right to attack you for filming them. This lady doesn't understand that this could go south. Then she'd have to worry about, does he get apprehended? Can she get him legally forced to get checked for
Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next. Shalom.